very, very quickly. He just had to step up for an emergency, but hey, you know what? Wrong graphics, but who cares? We got a game coming at you. So, all right, so here we are again. So that series finishing, obviously, we had a Pencils taking out One Trick Pony there. So we're getting a lot of HoN in here today, guys. Not only did we start with Complexity versus Dober on Damp, but then we went into that series that we just casted, Pencils versus OGP, but now here we are with the final series of the day. This is a winner's bracket semifinal matchup as we have QsQ is going to be taking on Trademark Esports, actually. So obviously really looking forward to this matchup. I know a lot of people tuning in are as well, of course. Specifically, really intrigued to see tdM. Fitzgay, how he fits in this team. Obviously, on paper, it seems like it should work out very well. Seems like it has so far, just as of yesterday. Both you and I definitely think that tdM could win it all here in cycle number 4. So,
yeah, I mean,
we'll get an idea now.
To be honest, I wouldn't even be surprised if they dropped a game. I think they're a very, very strong team, and I think they've been practicing a lot more, and they learned from their mistakes, I suppose, from QsQ, and they're going to be able to rectify those problems right now, today. There you go. There's my seal of approval. And they're going to be able to change those things around, and one of the biggest things is, you know, my man Zai, man. I love Zai. He's awesome, but he had a rough time against that Bombardier, and I think that was a big reason as to why QsQ was so successful in that series against Trademark Esports last week.
Yeah, obviously we are jumping in here a little bit late, so don't know exactly who banned what hero and whatnot. But you see the bans on your screen. We're already stepping into this game, though. We're, in fact, one more pick to go on the regular picking phase. So let's take a look at that real quickly. Parasite, the first pick from QsQ, went into a Glacius Silhouette coming out here from Trademark Esports. And then Torturer Luna, the response right there from QsQ. So, yeah, QsQ, though, again, coming off a very strong finish in cycle number 3. Lost in the end to Stay Green, of course, 3 games to 2 in an awesome best-of-5 series. In the grand finals, they were at a point of something like 12-game winning streak all throughout the losers bracket and some impressive wins, but it was stopped just short by Stay Green, of course. Will they be able to take it to tdM again here, or will tdM definitely get some revenge? So the winner of this plays the winner of the other semifinals. Of course, that is Stay Green playing Lion Esports Club, and that, of course, is also going on right now. Have some updates on that one, obviously. Well, okay, so here we are in this series. The final pick coming up here for Minus the Captain. So they got Glacius Silhouette so far. Look at the lock pool. Ophelia's on the board, by the way. Wow. Ophelia is still there.
And tdM has Glacius. They don't really have to take Ophelia, to be honest. Glacius is more of a safe pick to say, you know, we're going to protect our jungler, whatever that might be. Now, you can safely assume that maybe Keep of the Forest will get picked up. Rally's actually picked up by tdM. That Keep of the Forest might get picked up by QsQ and ran in that suicide lane by Jonas and Fan. I haven't seen them do that for quite some time, though, so I'm not 100% sure if that's what they're going to do. It is what they're going to do because they have the Parasite. And the snap picks, actually, from tdM, as both Tempest and Wretched Hag are basically picked simultaneously.
Yeah.
And, yeah, very interesting stuff. I'm very curious to see how they actually run Rally. They've ran it a couple times, but honestly, they haven't been that successful with him. So, and they actually ran him in a dual lane mid with Demented Shaman in particular. So it's going to be a little bit different this time with Glacius, and we're probably going to see a Glacius plus Rally mid, Silhouette solo short, Wretched Hag in a suicide lane.
I believe we saw Rally yesterday with that was, I think, I want to say Complexity against Domain of Pain. Maybe it was that. I'm trying to remember exactly.
Yeah, Jeppins, where he's hoarded up 5k gold. And
that's right. Yeah, that exactly. Yes, that was the Domain of Pain versus Complexity series, where a lot of money being saved up. Very interesting. Anyways, so yeah, it's going to be played here by tdM. It looks like Limp is going to be the one to play him. Again, Rally. So he is making appearances here and there, and this isn't like, you know, a joke matchup by any means. This is obviously the winter semifinals again against a team in QsQ who's has tdM's number in terms of the recent matchup. So, yeah, if you're tdM, by all means, you're taking this very, very seriously, as I'm sure QsQ is, as they always do. So, anyways, yes, as you can see, Killer Horror has returned. We are good to go. We are going to start off with a pause here, coming out from Trademark Esports. But yeah, looking forward to seeing the impact that Rally does have. It seems like, you know, with that compel ability especially, it can be very useful, kind of like the free tablet that does damage even, in a sense. So,
yeah,
an awesome ability indeed. And also that, and his ultimate, the fact that it synergizes with his passive and the battle experience, I believe it's called. Yeah, where it's it basically negates or what is it called? Ignores enemy armor. He can really dish out a lot of damage if he sets it up with a compel into his seismic slam. So
Yeah.
hey, hell, especially with the Tempest ultimate on top of that, that sets it up beautifully, I would think.
Now we're going to see a solo short Keep of the Forest, I'm pretty sure, on an aggressive tri-lane up top for QsQ with Luna Torture and Parasite. And I got to say, this is a ton of early game aggression. And they really have absolutely no late game at all. Like, maybe Torturer can kind of transition to the late game, but other than that, they're kind of all in early. And they will have a very aggressive lane, that's for sure, with Parasite, Luna, and Torture. I mean, they're pretty much going to dominate both Tempest and Silhouette. If Tempest isn't careful, Tempest might even think about just starting to rotate in the other jungle. But the thing is if I'm looking at this lineup, I would think, if I was looking at this, I would think, okay, solo short Bubbles, Suicide Keeper, dual lane middle, Luna Torturer. So I would just stay in my jungle if I was Tempest. But you're going to quickly find out that it's probably going to be that long lane tri-lane.
Interesting. Yeah, that we'll see if that catches Trademark Esports off guard or not. Again, while we are sitting in this pause now, just to reiterate this point, obviously Fitzgay, he is now officially a part. He's their new fifth for Trademark Esports, in a sense, as Minut's put it in the statement that he made on this whole situation. He basically said that they have decided to part ways with Insani. Obviously, it just seemed like there was some internal issues going on. Wasn't going to work out, so they parted ways. Replaced him with Fitzgay. That happened a couple of days really before the cycle number 4 started here. So that's kind of where we stand. Insania currently is playing for Stay Green, but in that situation, obviously he's playing only because Chessie is still waiting for those contract issues to get figured out with him and Complexity. By next weekend, hopefully it should be, and they'll be good to go. And then Insania, it's going to be interesting to see where he ultimately ends up, though. Of course, a very, very good support player with plenty of experience now in the competitive scene. I'm sure most teams out there would be very happy to have him. So
Yeah.
that is going to be fun to see where he eventually ends up. But all right, so it looks like both teams are already here, though. So just again, kind of going over that situation for those that are tuning in right now.
Yeah, and I don't want to touch too much on this series, but I do want to say that I did think Insania played really, really well, honestly, yesterday when we watched him.
Yeah.
And even though they lost that second game against OTP, I still feel like him on Parasite was very, very effective. So I do hope the best for him. And Aiden's a very nice guy. He's super, super nice and very sincere. And he does like to troll a bit. And by a bit, I mean a lot. And, like, DreamHack, I think it's whenever Leon Black dies, he just screams, "Leon Black!" like at the top of his lungs and just, is talking shit to the other team while they're playing. But he is a nice guy at heart and just likes to have fun.
Yeah. You see Nova right there placing a ward aside up here on the hill, right next to a couple of tdM players that were also scouting out themselves. But in the end, nothing really going to come of it. Nova does still have the other ward aside and will eventually place it, I'm sure. But this is what you talked about. The Luna tortured lane top with a Parasite aggressive jungle, so the pseudo tri-lane top. Bubble's going to be end up mid. And, of course, Keeper of the Forest, Jonas fan. He will end up at the bottom lane in the short. He actually did get pulled some regen with the health potion as well. So, yeah, Trademark Esports, it doesn't look like they have a clue of that right now, and that is going to be fun to see how that kind of affects them. So they are going to start out with the Silhouette Glacius up here. What do you do if you are Trademark, would you say, Tralf? I mean, as far as when you see this, what adjustments do you make? Do you send Tempest into the other jungle? I mean, what?
Well, you feel it out at first, see how much CS you're getting. If you're being semi-successful in the lane, then I would say stay as long as you can. And Glacius is actually, pretty effective against specifically Parasite by mitigating some ganks once you get in that creep. But maybe look to transition towards mid. The only thing is that, Bubbles mid is not exactly the easiest thing to gank, as he has that Shell Surf and the take cover if he decides to level it up. And Rally isn't exactly the best hero to gank with until he hits that level 6 mark. But, yeah, you already see actually the transition of Glacius to mid. So it's basically going to be a pseudo-suicide Silhouette in the short lane. And Parasite farming in the jungle and trying to get a good gank once he gets a good creep. But right now, it really should be a Luna and Parasite roaming the jungle together. You already see Glacius is kind of helping out Minut's playing this Tempest, and that's what he needs to do to prevent the ganks coming out from Parasite. And, yeah, they're playing this correctly, tdM is.
Yeah, it's definitely seeming like it's going to work out pretty well right now. I'm sure Silhouette is 100% being locked down, obviously, but well, what would Glacius be doing up there ultimately? So he's just going to help out Tempest a little bit at least right now. And so far, I mean, nothing too much going up here at the top side. Luna is just boxing out Silhouette somewhat. Torture is getting free farm here. As the middle lane, Rally kind of taking it to Bubbles a little bit, running in his face, doing some pressure. Silhouette is in some trouble here. Mally chasing him down with the leech, but not going to be enough for a kill. Just applying a lot of pressure. And the power throw, did it connect? I don't think it did. Health potion is going to be used nonetheless. And Silhouette will be fine, obviously. But here come Glacius and Tempest. They're going to run right over Ward of Sight. So obviously, Q Squad will be very aware of where exactly they are. So gonna kind of appropriately react to that. But I think Mally's had enough. It didn't work out as planned, I guess, for Q Squad. And he is actually going to go back to his own jungle. So is this safe to say that Q Squad's idea of a pseudo tri-lane top almost failed now?
Yeah, kind of. I think it really was that you didn't... Glacius wasn't up there for the longest time, and I feel like Luna should have just ran around with Parasite and just been aggressive with Parasite. Like, really, what is a level 1, level 2 Glacius Tempest going to do to a Luna plus Parasite with a creep? Like, I feel like Parasite and Luna would have a very good time trying to roam on those two heroes. But tdM played it very well. They played it passively, and they played it safely. And as a result, they've gained control of their jungle. And this is what I talked about for so long yesterday and today, about Glacius being so effective against aggressive junglers like Ophelia and specifically in this case, Parasite.
Yeah. Other matchups. So the middle matchup, we do have the Bubbles versus Rally. In fact, Rally a lot of pressure right there using those bottle charges. The Shell Surfer will connect. Actually jumps in. It's not going to see the final attack. No, he stuttered right there. And that's going to cost Style his own life. Bloodlust kill will go in favor of Lamp. Meanwhile, at the top lane, actually might not take the kill on a Nox right there playing the Torture. Ugly sequence of events for Q Squad, but that was all Style. In fact, Parasite jumps in and will pick off Rally, so at least they make something of it. But the fact that he stuttered at the last second, no doubt, kept Limp alive and ultimately set up a respawn Bloodlust. So,
yeah,
unfortunate there.
I do want to say that it did look like he didn't get experience. Rally that is, in mid. So I guess that's the best thing that could happen. And then Mali did clean up there in mid, but I missed the top action of Nox being taken out. That's huge.
Yeah.
And it's really huge in the sense that that's your one hero that needs to get farm. Mm-hmm. Like no one else is going to be really carrying or doing lots of damage in the early game or mid game or late game for that matter than your Torturer. So you cannot let that hero fall behind.
Mm-hmm. Now they had a decent chance right there on a Silhouette, but it's only a level 1 Agonizing Bond, so we knew it wouldn't have finished her off. Decided not to use it there. Might have been out of range nonetheless, but Torture is in some trouble. Not going to be enough trouble though, as they were running over, but a lot of regen being passed around. And they'll be fine. Compel going to be used by Rally to pick up this hatred. Bubbles tries to get there in time, but now Rally has it bottled up, and Bubbles realizing this is going to be a dangerous spot for him to be in. He does have a levels advantage as you're talking about. In fact, going to use some bottle charges right there. And actually, in 3 seconds, he could go for a turnaround. Granted, there is a Haitian, again, bottled up. So he's going to go for it? Okay, yeah. I figured he might as well at least do out the Shell Surf, but yeah, Haitian will be activated, and Rally will be more than fine. And actually, he's going to go in right here. He's not level 6, obviously. I don't see any kills coming out, but wanted to be careful for that level 6 at the same time. So
yeah, the level 6 is going to be very, very powerful, and the thing to note too is Bubbles does not have the take cover. Now the stun duration of the level 3 Compel is 1.75 seconds. Actually, there it is. He stuns again using the haste rune. It is now out, and Bubbles might have to think about using the Shell Surf to get away. Yes, he's going to have to, but he'll be fine for now.
Yeah, so Limp definitely showing that he knows what he's doing with Rally. Rally not a hero we've seen a whole lot in the competitive scene. He was one of those 6 heroes that was introduced going into HoN Tour. I think it's safe to say, actually, he's the one we've seen the most. I mean, Prophet, we have seen a little bit of Prophet too, but it seems like out of those 6 heroes, Rally has definitely made a pretty big impact himself. So kind of interesting there. I don't know if anyone really saw that coming, at least in the beginning. But Wretched Hag at the bottom lane. She's going to look around for Malay. Not going to find him, but will actually steal some creeps gladly. So that's good for Zai down here playing this Wretched Hag. At first plays a fantastic Suicide Hag. And shows that time and time again. But Keeper the Forest and Hag, how are they matching up? Keeper is 28 and 10 now. Hag is 22 and 3. Did just get some jungle creep kills, remember, right there. So it seems like Keeper is having the better time. Being played by Jonathan Fan, of course, at the bottom lane. Compel going to miss right there by Limp in the middle lane. He's still going to stand his ground, put in some auto attacks again, especially with that passive. He really is. He hits pretty hard against you, but yeah, he is not level 6 yet just yet. Neither is Bubbles, but again, that is going to be a big key here in the middle lane matchup. Invis rune going to be bottled up by Rally.
That's a really important rune right around this time too. Like, you just hit level 6. Now you have an Invis. If you pop it, like that basically means top is going to have to play passive, mid's going to have to play passive. everyone's got to play passive except maybe Keeper, but even then I'd still be scared because of how much damage that comes out from the ultimate of Rally. Might even look to maybe go for a kill onto Bubbles. I honestly think that, I don't know, I haven't played Rally enough to really understand how much damage it does for certain heroes in certain matchups. But I really feel like if he he tries to go for the stun,
Yeah.
but it doesn't connect. It's not the longest range in the world.
How long is it? It's 600 range, so it launches them 600. Yeah, it's a good range, but yeah, not the longest in the world. How much is a tablet? With that said, tablet 500, so it is longer than a tablet actually, by 100 units. Anyways, yeah, he's definitely trying to find that opportunity. But Bubbles himself, with a kill field, perhaps with some assistance from Parasite even, could definitely set up a kill as well. But speaking of Parasite at this bottom lane, we could have a root coming out from Keeper very shortly here. If they can time this correctly, the root will only last the 2 seconds, of course, so needs to be pretty careful with it. But can they take out Zai? No, it looks like the lane is pushing up just a little bit too much. We'll see if Zai looks to push back now, and that could be the kill opportunity. But Parasite definitely wants to make that happen. In the middle lane, Invis was activated by Rally, so he's going to try to set that on with Bubbles. But clearly Style knows what's up. He's going to play very, very passive here. And just going to kind of hug this tower. So instead, Limp is going to go into the jungle, hoping to maybe find the Parasite. Obviously, as you see, that's probably not going to happen at this point. Parasite is currently invised by the Nature's Veil. It's so close. You could tell it's so close. They really want to go in right here. But you got to guarantee that you can kill him basically in those 2 seconds. Here we go. There's a root coming out. There's a leech. There's the face. A couple of auto attacks. Yes, it is going to be enough. Now here comes the second plan. Oh, that's going to be big. Keeper of the Force will fall. It did not hit Parasite as well, though. If that hit Parasite as well, that could have been a double tap, but the angle was just a little bit off.
Yeah, it's a very, very small radius, and the angle, it has to be just perfect. I can't tell you how many times I've missed that because I just haven't played that hero really, honestly, all that much. So it's kind of a finesse hero, to be honest. But does get the counter kill on the Keeper of the Forest, and that's good. And like I said at the beginning, though, any kind of one-for-one exchanges or anything like that is totally favoring tdM. Now the compel yet again onto Bubbles in mid. He doesn't have the ultimate, obviously, he just used it, but putting out some pressure. But any one-to-one kills is going to favor tdM simply because of the hero makeup and composition that QsQ has as a whole. They're not going to win this late game at all. They need to be the ones by far in the lead at this point, and they're not.
That's true. Very, very true. It's Q Squad that has only 9 minutes into the game. It is safe to say a timetable is running out to an extent. The fact that it is fairly even in scores, but you made the great point right there. This is a very, very early game team. So 3-2 hero kill lead for tdM. That's not good at all for Q Squad. Jonathan Fan is level 8 down here. He has a Ring of Sorcery, Ring of Teacher. You got to wonder, maybe getting into some tower pushing going on down here at the bottom lane. Could be something to think about. Malay might run into some trouble right here himself. He's going to run into a Wretched Hag, who has plenty of mana. Bat Blast is not leveled up, though. And that could be the difference for him. And we're going to see Nature's Veil. Yes, it's going to come out of time. Trying to stun the Scream. Yes, he will get the kill. Zai, well played right there. Ends up getting the kill on a Malay. Very, very, very good job.
Yeah.
Found Parasite by himself.
Yeah, good job by him. He was still able to get that Thunder Scream off. It had the cooldown for like 1 more second. Now Bubbles is actually in a little bit of trouble. Does not have the Cell Surf, and he actually does get taken out right there. So, again, these exchanges cannot happen if you're QsQ. You cannot win the late game with this lineup. I don't know if you're thinking about that at all. Maybe you have some plans about Torture having some secret kind of item build coming into the mid to late game, but just look at it. Look at the heroes you're up against. You need to be way far ahead, and that's just not the case here.
Yeah, it's getting to a desperate point, even of just grouping up and push. Setting up some mass gang sales, and they're going to go once again. Wretched tried to blink in time, but she was in mid-animation as soon as a root hit. That would have been embarrassing if they missed that, but sure enough, it does hit, and they get the kill. So here we go. There's that push that I'm talking about after the hero kill on a Wretched Hag. So this should be good news, of course, for Q Squad. We'll see if they get the tower kill, whether or not Trademark Esports puts some defense in this here. We see the creep wave's going to be joining the party. So far, nothing just yet. And of course, Creep of the Forest is going to use one of those animated tree, or the tree dogs, as I like to call them, to pull the next creep wave, making this a little bit easier. So the vulnerability will be used, but this is going to be a free tower kill, it looks like, for Q Squad. So that should swing the goal to their favor at least. And again, a step in the right direction, very necessary here for them, and they're going to keep it pushing. So obviously, Trademark Esports will now have to think about doing something. Top lane, we do have an initiation on the Silhouette. The chain reactions hit. The power throw comes out. There's the Illuna stun. There's the agonizing boss, but a quick turn around. The tree grapple. Good attempt right there from Noob G to get away. Isn't enough though, but at least he got the kill first. Nova does get the credit for the kill on Noob G. Glacial Downpour going to be he got compelled as soon as
Really?
he started channeling the glacial downpour.
Well, it didn't matter anyway because he wasn't even close.
It was the wrong direction and everything, but it's like, really? Good attempt, I guess. But yeah, just kind of funny.
Interesting plays there. No, but that was a really good attempt there by Noob G. Would have been a huge play. He was able to get away. You saw the return damage coming up on Torture. And again, Torture is 0-2-1. She's getting out-farmed by 3 members of the tdM team. And she needs to be the one that has a ton of farm. But Joseph and with this assistant from Molly, actually, in the bottom lane, do take out the Tier 2 tower. And that does actually boost up the gold lead, or GPMs, I should say, for QsQ a considerable amount. Actually, speaking of gold lead, they're actually 2,000 ahead in gold. But again, I feel like it doesn't matter because Limp does get taken out. So they're making the best of a bad situation here early on. I keep saying they need to make something happen in the early game, and they're starting to do that.
They finally are. Torture not going the impalement route. Wanted to be really aggressive in that top lane. So, but another tower kill. I mean, so a minute ago, Trouf, you know what you were saying is that QsQ was at a very difficult spot already. All of a sudden, they're now at 4,000 gold. A much, much better spot. Look at Jonas fan, by the way, 407 gold per minute. On that Keeper of the Forest. He's doing fantastic. Tablet of Command actually just picked up by Torture. That's big. Keeper of the Forest probably going to have a port key. In fact, he's going to harass Tempest a little bit, but actually Aluna's going to get caught out here. Keeper of the Forest trying to help. Tempest Ultimate's going to expose Keeper of the Forest. Batblast's going to be he's so tanky, though. I don't know if this is going to be enough. He will, of course, go invis, but they are able to still see him putting in the auto attacks as he's trying his best to get away, but it's just not going to happen. So obviously, well played by tdM there, and it ends up getting a couple of kills in return.
See, I thought the ultimate from Tempest actually wasn't very smart. Like, he had so much HP. What was the problem is Josephine used that invis initially, right after the ultimate, way too soon. Like, he used it, he wasn't next to any tree, so he got revealed immediately. And then had to wait like another 3 seconds to actually use it when he was next to the trees. By that time, he already took too much damage. The Sonar Scream hit him through the invis, so that just wasn't really that well played by Josephine, to be honest.
Yeah, so he was farming very, very well, slowing him down obviously a bit right there. In fact, I think he just finished Ghost Marchers now, so I'm not going to be going for that portal key just yet. Parasite and Torture running into some elementals there, but Torture will gladly clean those up, and his farm is definitely started to shoot up there, 320. Compel going to be used by Rally. No Seismic Slam, though, as figuring it wouldn't be enough damage, so he falls back. Obviously, Bubbles with those Steam Boots and even the Major Totem picked up. Pretty damn tanky. Top lane, we see Zai's actually going to get picked off. Catching the tail end of that. Root was used by Keeper of the Forest. And now Tempest, he is going to start falling back. This top tower is actually very vulnerable now. And very possibly going to be pushed in here by the Legion team.
Yeah, that was a pretty greedy play, to be honest, by Zai right there. He had to have think that the follow-up was going to come when he chases for that long and that far. So they got a good counter kill out of him, and as a result, they're going to take this Tier 1 tower up in the top. So they're just taking towers left and right. Meanwhile, tdM doesn't have a tower to their name just yet. You do have Noob G counter pushing in the bottom lane, but that tower has taken very little damage onto it. In the meantime, some action in mid. There's the Seismic Slam coming out from Limp, and a lot of damage with assistance from Fitsky on Glacius. Easy kill on Style.
Yeah, Style really, he almost made that work right there. He actually tried to Song of the Sea spam right before the Seismic Slam went off. That would have been pretty clutch, but obviously it just wasn't in time. And he fell right there. And actually, Rally falls back. It's a Beast Heart. So he is working towards finishing that Helm of the Black Legion. The Jungle Tempest running into Keeper of the Forest, as does Glacius for that matter. He's going to go Nature's Belt, but there's no trees there, buddy. They were cleared out by the Comet, so actually Keeper of the Forest is in some trouble right here. Tempest Ultimate not up. They're going to lock down Glacial Downpour even coming out, and that will guarantee the kill. So again, he just got caught out in a position where he wasn't really near the trees, and obviously got picked off. So Jonathan fan getting cocky here and unfortunately dying a couple times now.
Yeah, and this is the hero that still, after those 2 back-to-back deaths, still has a top farm on your team.
Yeah, in the game.
Well, in the game, yeah. Wow, in the game too. Interesting, but hasn't really been able to honestly do anything with that farm. He was hoarding a lot of gold for some time, then actually upgraded his boots into Ghost Marchers, and is still hoarding about 1,600 gold or so. And yeah, now they're losing desperately by a lot actually in experience. They still have that gold lead. That's simply because of the towers that they've pushed. And that gold lead will soon change in favor of tdM. Once you get more items up on a silhouette, they're able to start farming some stacks and whatnot. And it's already starting to come back in favor of tdM, just slowly though.
We are going to see another group up here by the Legion team. Actually, the Elementals again getting picked off by Torture. So
it's a lot of free gold, man.
It is. He's up to 340 gold per minute now, so I'm sure that's been a good part of it. Bubbles is going to join the Luna, Torture, and Keeper of the Forest. The only one not here is a Parasite, who's actually in the middle lane currently running past the Rally, but now he's going to look to head up there apparently. and join that team. So pretty mass push coming up here. The middle lane in the meantime going to be countered by Trademark Esports. They're going to try to make something happen here. Parasite is actually still sticking around, though. He's going for the flank. Bubbles is also here, so they're going to try to maybe TP and make something happen. They're going to go for Glacius. Glacius quickly picked off. Tempest does have a porta key, by the way, with that ultimate. Everyone ports in here for the leading side except Keeper. Bubbles chasing. Oh, the auto attack does not cancel the porta key in time. And Minot's on Tempest will be fine. Keeper the Force, he is still pushing the top lane, but here's some ports coming in. Yeah, you got to be very, very careful here. He's going to help Nature's Veil, but clearing the trees. He is in tower range, I believe, still. And he is going to... Oh, the root comes out. He's trying his best to survive right here. In comes the support. Can he actually get away? Ghost Marchers are up. Wow, he is going to live for now. In fact, Parasite joining the party, trying to pick up Tempest. Not going to be up. Oh, the Shell Surf Snipe coming up from Bubbles to finish him off. This is working out actually pretty damn well as the power throw snipe attempt is going to miss, unfortunately. Rally coming back and torture a great chain reaction stun as well as the agonizing bonds. Silhouette, though, is now in pursuit and going to trigger grapple forward. But Bubbles again responds. He's going to take out Glacius, and they'll fall back. Style with the double tap. The power throw connects on a Rally, and if they can get close enough to teleport, there's the agonizing bonds and Rally. Oh, what just happened right there? Wow, Q Squad, a big momentum burst.
Lim didn't get off any of his spells. Like, he pushed people around, but when he initially tried to save Minot, he totally missed. It looked like it almost went directly through Parasite. His initial, what's the called, the Vortex spell, the Compel, just missed Parasite and didn't get off his ultimate as a result because it's kind of a clunky hero. Like, you have to hit those Compels, and you have to hit them on yourself to actually get that ultimate off because it has a channel time, and it's a very, very small radius. This is why this hero is kind of like... I don't know. I'm not sold on him completely yet. Yeah. I'm really just not sold on him, and he hasn't really done that much, to be honest. He's got a couple of kills, namely that counter kill in the bottom lane, which was fine. But, yeah, it's definitely playing a role here, and the early aggression is starting to pay off. You almost have a Hellflower actually onto Male. Very close, to be honest. And Keeper the Force, he bought something. I want to say maybe Portal Key. I didn't see exactly what it was, but he did spend his gold.
I did see what's on the courier. It's been delivered. It is
a Wild Hunter. Yeah. Wild Hunter up top on Desai.
Yeah, he doesn't have the Hellflower just yet. In fact, he's going to use it right there. Glacius, I believe, just saw him, though. But now Glacius is in trouble. Is it going to be enough for the kill? It doesn't look like it now. Mali's in trouble himself. And he is probably going to fall right here. So doesn't even get the kill. Ouch. If he had the Hellflower, 100% kill. But didn't get the kill. And that will slow him down from finishing the Hellflower. Meanwhile, Rally is going to cut out the missing the chain reaction. So good dodge right there. Shell Surf is going to port with it. A nice uphill attack, so going to miss right there. Tempest obviously nearby with the Hasterin, also assisting. And actually, Rally looks like will be fine, as he got the support that was needed in the end. So good juking and jiving coming out from Limp right there. As he's going to go back into the jungle now and looks to continue to farm. Yeah, big unfortunate play by Mally there at the top lane, though.
Yeah.
Getting caught out.
That was just not a risk that you really needed to take. It was a very, very high risk, low reward. Like, you spend everything, you kill a Glacius, you're most likely not even going to get out of that, no matter what. So what at best you kill a Glacius and then die yourself. But in that instance, you didn't even kill the Glacius, you just died. Mm-hmm. So that was one of those high risk, low reward instances that just did not pay off at all, like they normally don't.
Go figure. Go figure. Yeah, Rally's still trying to finish that Helmet of the Black Legion, actually. Okay, he just got enough gold for it there with the Compel of the Creep Wave. I know he's had enough gold at that. Anyways, he is heading back towards base right now, so we'll see if he actually finishes that or not. The Ancients on the Hellborn side, that Keeper the Force is actually going to try to clean those up with his minions right here. There are, of course, not a whole lot of damage coming out from those guys, but actually double damage rune spawning bottom. So we'll see if he or somebody else picks that up. Mally is nearby, but continuing to farm more. Still working towards finishing that third Arcana of his, which, of course, would result in a Hellflower. Top lane going to be pushed in. Tempest still is here in the top lane, or the top tower, that is still here. Ports are coming in, but Portal Key from Tempest and Blink away from Wretched Hag. It will stop the tower push and maybe once again set up a return push from Q Squad now. As they are going to cut towards the river, though, so the aggression really is picking up, though, of course, here from Q Squad, and it is showing. 4,700 gold lead. It is a 4,600 experience lead, though, in favor of Trademark Esports. And you do have a Silhouette, by the way, who now has overtaken as the top farm of the game. Mm-hmm. So Noob G has kind of quietly been doing his own thing, but he has Ghost Marcher's Nullstone now, as he is farming 390 gold per minute. So you got to worry about that always.
And that's pretty good considering the fact that QsQ initially tri-laned against that. So being able to come out with these items at this time is very, very impressive.
Middle tower easily pushed in. No defense put up here. by Trademark. You see Parasite, he's off to the side. He's really waiting for somebody to commit. But top lane will also be pushed in the meantime. So the Hellborn at least doing their part to kind of take advantage of exchange right there. Compel going to be used to actually stun the creep wave as well as do some damage by Rally. So doing his best to delay this push here. And of course, that is coming out from QsQ. But it seems like QsQ's had enough. They're going to start falling back. And it should work out just fine. Oh, Silhouette runs into Keeper right there. See Portal keyed. That could have been a little bit interesting. But no, nothing really big going to come of it. And in the end, the Allfather that can continue to farm, I guess. So
Silhouette looking pretty close to her own Portal key if that's what she decides to go for. And I think that's what Noobg does. I think he does go for that Portal key a lot around this time. Bulwark picked up on the Keep of the Forest. That's going to be good for him. Ancients are going to be respawned here by next to the Silhouette. She's going to farm those Illusion Rune bottom. But yeah, overall lead has kind of been the same for the last 10 minutes. 4,000. The gold has always been in favor of QsQ, whereas tdM has been leading in the experience department. And, you know, again, as this starts to progress more and more to the late game, I still think it's kind of scary playing up against the Tempest and specifically Noobg playing that Silhouette. And Zai, he always seems to find his farm too, even playing that Suicide Hag. He's died a couple of times, a couple of interesting plays from him, but it still nonetheless has his Mighty Blade and is probably going to hold off on the Trunket Head for now and just go Mighty Blade into the Hellflower.
yeah, just for the extra life pool currently, but Hellflower, of course, very, very good for him. A Skeleton King taking over by Mally right here, but he is actually, and I was going to say, he should be able to purchase now the rest of the third Arcana, and it's now being delivered. So he will have his own Hellflower, speaking of that. Good news again. There, the tablet finished on bubbles, by the way, so that goes along nicely with his Portal Key and the Steam Boost that he has. Looks like right here, QsQ, this could be the timing of feeling pretty comfortable about grouping up now and pushing. Finishing the Hellflower, you get the tablet on bubbles for the second one. Your Soul's Bulwark just recently picked up on Keeper. So yeah, they say, all right, here we go. What do you got, Trademark Esports? They're going to start making a push here into the middle lane. And most likely all the way to the base. They're going to cut bottom currently, actually. I guess they could try to go for Kongor. But they don't really have any vision themselves. They're kind of setting that up, though. So, yeah, and they may actually try to go for Kongor here. But as you see, there is still vision from tdM that is near the Kongor pit. So they would definitely see it going on. And could quickly respond here. So, what do you think of your QsQ? Do you group up and try to push into the base, or maybe go for the Kongor like they're doing?
I would say probably go for the Kongor. I think you're going to need that Token of Life, honestly, to push in. And like even if you get some good pickoffs early on, you could safely assume that, or you can maybe assume that there will be a buyout on someone in that team. And being able to buy out and then port right back into the fight, which is, you know, a couple thousand range away because it's in your own base, you're going to need to have that Token of Life. So they are taking out Kongor right now, though. And how fast is it dropping? Not that fast, to be honest.
Well, yeah, they're not really committing to it. It's really just Keeper, honestly, doing damage right now. They will counter-ward the ward that was here from tdM. So tdM is kind of blind now. Granted, Fitsuke actually counter-warded the wards that were placed by QsQ aggressively there. So good job by him. But in the meantime, Keeper the Force is going to get jumped on. Can he even get the root off? Seismic Slap going to happen. He's going to be top for it. There's the root going out the Hellfire in the background. And Wretched Hag, by the way. Wretched Hag will melt before she absolutely does anything. Keeper the Force finally falls to Glacial Downpour doing work. Tempest jumps in, but no, he's not going to ultimate. Actually bubbles in the midst of it. Holy crap. He will somehow be able to Portal Key away. Leech going to be used power throw on top of that, but Tempest will also survive. So actually ends up only being a 1-for-1 exchange with Wretched Hag for Keeper of the Forest. But yeah, that was definitely more impressive for QsQ, considering Wretched Hag did absolutely nothing in that fight. She just got locked down.
Yeah, and well played by Fitsuke. He channeled that ultimate from the beginning till the end. And even though he didn't have vision of Keeper, he thought that was like the only place that Keeper could be, and it actually was enough damage to take him down. It was very, very close, but Keeper did die to that. So well played by Fitsuke, the newest addition to this tdM team.
Yeah, definitely. We all knew that he was a great support player, of course, but it is good to see him, again on a team like tdM and doing well once again. So Rally, in the meantime, continuing to pick up more farm down here at the bottom lane. Where is Rally going, by the way, as far as his build? He has the helm and the steam boots. Another 1,400 gold saved up. He's farming about 270 gold per minute, so nothing too flashy, but getting a job done, I guess. I'm thinking maybe a Portal Key, I guess, next would be a pretty solid choice for him. So we'll see. Getting that initiation tool for this Hellborn team, or an assistant initiation tool, as they do have Silhouette and Tempest, of course, with Portal Keys himself. But ultimately, it does stall Kongor from really happening there. And so tdM, I still think, is fine with the way that fight turned out. Silhouette does continue to farm, speaking of farming. She is up there, but again, Torture is actually now even up there. He has even surpassed this Silhouette. Wow, he is very close to. He has a sheep
Has
stick.
it,
Yeah, he has the mana tube now. Damn.
I know that's a lot of farm for Nox. He's really found the openings and found the ways to farm. And he's going to port back right now, get that sheep stick, and maybe look to be aggressive here with a pickoff onto specifically like Hag would be very, very effective. Or if you get someone to cancel that ultimate or the Nullstone onto Silhouette, it's certain death because she only, even though she has the blink, she has the Nullstone. That's fantastic. Love the items, but still, if you can cut through that Nullstone with something to stop it, like a leech or something from Parasite or what have you, or maybe even Bubbles blinking in and then using the silence and then the tablet command to get rid of the Nullstone. He's very, very squishy actually. Silhouette is. If you can get past all the escape mechanisms and the Nullstone and all that jazz, he's actually pretty squishy and dies very, very quickly.
Yeah. Well, another 2,100 gold saved up on Silhouette. Speaking of her, they're going to go aggressive right here. Parasite, the Tempest ultimate even being used. Really want to get this kill. And that they do. Of course, you can argue that was definitely worth it because the Infest could have came out and quickly survived right there. So, good kill onto Parasite. But Tempest ultimate is down. And obviously, QsQ is very aware of that. Got to kind of wonder what tdM is going to be able to do now as a result of that. But kind of setting up around Congo themselves. Not really going to go for it, though. So, it ends up really just being a pick. And back to farm they go. Middle lane. There could be a jump. And actually, yes, they are going to go into Wretched Hag. In comes the kill for the Song of the Sea. Rally is nearby. Can't compel. In fact, it's going to do that. Power throw will miss. In comes Torture, though. Trying to get close enough. Cannot, though. The compel definitely doing work right there by Rally.
Yeah.
Helping to save his teammate.
The free push book. That's what it is, basically. Very helpful for his team. And anytime tdM gets a kill, and then both teams are like, well, this person died, we have to go back to farming, that's always going to favor tdM because they have the superior late game.
Yeah.
So even though the Tempest Ultimate was used, it was perfectly used because it halted all the farm coming out from QsQ. It halted more importantly, halted the aggression of pushing that they could, pose. And again, that's just going to come back to tdM has better late game. They have no problem sitting back farming.
Mm-hmm.
And anytime that QsQ has to wait and have their push delayed, it's going to be favorable for tdM.
Yeah, we do see... I think that was the Astrolabe just finished, actually. And then he had the Souls Warwick here for a little bit, so yeah. A little bit later Astrolabe, but still Astrolabe great nonetheless, especially if you are going to push. Okay, so all five grouping up again here for QsQ. Last time they did this, it kind of fell back to Kongor. Will they actually now try to actually break into the base this time? It seems like that could be the case right here. They quickly clean up the creep wave. Now, they don't have really a barrier idol or anything like that, so they could tend to be powerful for pushing into the base like there. You see they were demoralizing Roar by Rally. It's a good damage as it is level 460 physical to be exact. And it will get QsQ to start to fall back for now. So obviously it is very difficult. I mean, you're not going to be easily able to break into the base by any means. So,
right.
But if you're QsQ, what else do you and can you do? You just got finished saying how the longer you wait, the longer it kind of just resets and goes back to farming. That will favor Trademark Esports. Can't do this much longer now.
You really can't. I mean, as great as the item pickups that Nox has gotten this game, and Bubbles, despite that kind of hiccup that he had early on with the Bloodlust, has still been playing fine, and he has good item pickups, but it won't be enough against the superior late game. I mean, I can't say that enough.
Oh,
very small blink there. Unfortunately, by Johnson fan had a good idea. He's running around here, still invis for the time being. Here we go with a big team fight.
Big root coming out right there. Bubble's going to assist. Tempest is dropping quickly. Tempest will fall right here, it looks like. But in the background, look at Silhouette jumping on a Torture. Torture trying to stay alive. He has the ultimate activated, doing plenty of damage himself. He will eventually fall, but he got a good amount of damage off. Parasite in the foreground. Now the Glacial Downpour coming off full channel right there from Fitsuke, doing plenty of damage itself. Bubble Shell Surf trying to go in the other direction. Not going to be enough, though. Parasite being chased down. Nature's Veil. Not going to save Parasite. Aluna's also picked off, and now Keeper of the Forest. He is on the run, so a big spread fight there because of where Keeper Forest got caught out initially. So they get the initial kill on the Tempest, who bought back, by the way, and is ready to try to help finish off Keeper of the Forest, who's going to use an Nature's Veil again.
He has a bound die,
Rally. Oh, yeah, they got the bound die.
It was picked up by Silhouette just a second ago after killing the person right before that, and now get another kill. Yeah, he killed Nova right before that, picked up the bound die, and then chased Keeper of the Forest the entire time. So huge team fight there coming out from tdM. Even though Tempest did die, she bought back, came right back into the team fight, and now they're pushing some tier 2 towers. Could even put some pressure onto the base towers, but it doesn't matter. They have such a huge lead, not so much in gold, but look at that experience lead, 15,000 experience.
Yeah, it all came down to the initiation there, I feel. I mean, really, despite them getting the first kill, that did happen on the Tempest, Keeper of the Forest didn't get the most optimal position in terms of his route. He's the one that got jumped first, and he was kind of panic mode, forced to use the route like he did. And the rest of the team, they weren't there. They weren't ready to jump in themselves. They started to get picked off by Silhouette and Wretched Hag, I believe, in the background, as we saw. And again, clearly it just didn't work out. So Trademark Esports wins a big fight right there. And now if you're Q Squad, again, we've stressed it so much. You really think that just a respawn here, push back a couple lanes, but you got to have something happen because you ain't winning the farm game. Silhouette's 457 gold per minute now and counting. She's just going to get deadlier and deadlier. That actually, she has a Shrunken Head finished, as well as another 1,600 gold saved up. And you actually just had Barrier out, which is on Rally too, so another solid item for them. I want to say Hack has a Hellflower finished. He's going back to base right now. Seems like he's been sitting on those for... Oh no, he actually chooses to finish the Shrunken Head first, so... Has that now to work with himself.
Maybe he just feels like even if he gets the Hellflower off, like it doesn't matter, they're going to die anyway. He just wants to be able to live in these team fights and get his spells off. So I think that's fine, actually. You know, I said before, if you're down, I think Hellflower is a smarter decision, but clearly tdM's not down.
Silhouette is in trouble right here. Sheepstick coming out. Will the support come in time? He's going to be locked down. Can he get up the circuit? No, he cannot. Silhouette going to be picked off. He cannot buy back, actually. This could be huge here for the Legion team. In fact, we're going to come out. Wretched Egg dropping. Tempest ultimate. No, he's going to be pushed forward, though. Going to cancel that as a result. And now Tempest is trying to help with the Comet. Going to get one kill on the Torture right there. But Silhouette does buy back, actually, so she just had enough. In comes a Rally Seismic Slam. Keeper of the Force barely staying alive. He'll finally be sniped out. There was a buyback on a Nox, by the way, playing that Torturer. So a couple of buybacks being used for both teams. Aluna's still on the run as Silhouette, that Deathload is coming up in 2 seconds, 1 second. There we go. Uses it right away and actually happens to snipe out Nova. Look at the middle lane, though. Torturer, Parasite, and Bubbles. Keeper of the Force also joining them. They're going to try to just go straight for the base here. So definitely desperation.
Yeah. A little bit of desperation. There comes Male. He's getting stunned right there. They're actually maybe even trying to turn this onto Minus, and he will fall. He just picked up his Shrunken Head, too. Didn't even activate it right there, unfortunately. And here we see some aggression now. Keeper of the Force doesn't get the stun off from the Compel of Rally. There's the Ice Imprisonment, though. The poured out from Silhouette. Where did he go? He's actually over towards the left now, putting some aggro onto Torture. Gets the tree grapple blink. It does connect. Torture will fall. Actually, Fitzka gets credit for that kill. Trying to pursue. I don't know if they're going to get much more than this. The blink is on cooldown for another 5 seconds from Silhouette. Blink on Keeper is up in 4 seconds. It's going to be close. Did they actually pursue him? No, they're not going to. So, yeah, good team fight there in favor of... Oh, he's actually pursuing! Tree Grapple disconnects the Shell Surf port, and Bubbles actually gets killed by Creeps right there. But still well played there by Noob G.
Yeah, that was a great pursue in the end. And so like I said, I mean, Q Squad, they clearly know. I mean, this is a... They got to make some desperate moves here. So just going straight for the base is going to start it off pretty nice, but in the end, finishes off a little bit better for tdM. And now, especially if they kill Kongor here, you know, what are your chances then? So Kongor is going to start falling. Rally's tanking it. It's not the quickest Kongor kill by any means, and they're going to start resurrecting. At least Torturer will be up in 15 seconds. In fact, Wretched Hag going very aggressive by himself here, but a Hellfire is going to be applied. Parasite is nearby. There's a Leech coming out. Does he have a face hug? Yes, he does, but the Shrunken Head goes off just in time. Wretched Hag going to hold his ground for now. He will be able to blink away, and he will be fine. So very, very close right there. But Zai will live after getting the kill. Now, Kongor doesn't fall, though. It was a little bit too slow, and tdM will just fall back from it. So
okay.
Not going to risk it, I guess.
Yeah, they're not in any hurry at all. tdM just knows they can farm. Silhouette, when she died initially, wasn't able to get off anything because she got Sheep, CC'd, I think even Health out on top of that too, and wasn't able to get that Shrunken Head off. And so they did a good job, like I said, CCing her. She is very squishy, but or until that time when she got a Shrunken Head. And but if she's able to jump in the fights with that Shrunken Head activated, it's going to be a whole other story.
We have Silhouette and Rally right here, clean up some creeps in the middle, but again, going back into Kongor. Most likely? No, it's not, actually. I mean, the vision is dominated by them around the Kongor pit, so you don't necessarily need to worry about Q Squad seeing that, but I guess they don't fully know that themselves, so don't have hacks like we do. We do got Q Squad, though. They are transitioning that direction, maybe even figuring that's what's kind of going on here. But they do know Tempest is here in the jungle, I believe, with that ward of sight they have. And in fact, they're going to try to take advantage of that, but Keeper of the Forest cannot get there in time. And instead, we'll just clean up a couple of the creeps that are left behind, but Trademark Esports, they are starting to respond. Parasite is coming in late, but here we go. Tempest will jump in. Shrunken Head is going to be activated. Bubbles the target of choice. He'll Portakey away, though, before he gets caught. And more pursuit happening. Parasite now getting caught out. He's going to go for a counter, but does nothing with the Shrunken Head on Wretched Hag. He literally did 0 damage right there. So they eventually, well, easily pick up the kill on Malday. And now maybe Conqueror is more reasonable here.
Yeah, Tempest isn't able to find the right opening for an ultimate, and he knows that. He knows it's a very difficult Tempest game. Even with the Shrunken Head activated, it can be canceled by both Parasite and Keep the Forest. So he's just fine by activating the Shrunken Head, trying to do as much as he can in team fights as far as stunning, using the meteor for extra damage, auto-attacking, things like that. And but they're all playing it well. He knows that the damage is really at this point coming out from both Wretched Hag and Silhouette.
Conqueror goes down. Silhouette, I'm guessing. Yeah, Silhouette has the token of life. She has another 3,000 gold saved up, by the way. In fact, Tempest joins the party up here. He's going to put the stun on a Torturer. He's going to be Sheepstick, but the stun's still working, of course, on Torturer. Wretched Hag now in pursuit as well. Torturer, you are probably dead. Has a great chain of reactions. Actually, look at the turnaround damage with the ultimate activated. Holy crap. Bubbles with the assistance. They do pick off and actually double tap coming up for style right there. So Torturer doing plenty of damage.
Yeah.
Just before he died, really kind of showing that off right there. But in the end, he does get picked off and ends up being a 2-for-1 exchange, I guess, actually. So that wasn't bad. Silhouette also got pretty low, too. So.
She's still low.
Yeah.
I thought maybe if Style was going to stay up around there and with those cooldowns were out.
Wow, that power throw nearly finished her.
Oh, wow.
It just was sidestepped there by Silhouette. I don't think that was necessarily on purpose, but very close. That would have sucked. If your token of life used that way. So, but again, Torturer actually, that was pretty impressive, the damage output that he had in that exchange right there, at least.
Yeah, Torturer, I said before that Torture's not bad in late game, but he's all you got. And even in the sense of like a late game carry, he's not like your traditional late game carry. But he does provide a lot of damage. But he's basically it. I mean, Bubbles is actually doing work himself too, and I feel like, not to be rude, I feel like it's just kind of delaying the inevitable though. Like, you know, tdM is continuing to still outfarm and totally outlevel you. And I mean, they're managing to stay in these team fights, but they haven't been able to successfully push a lane. Yeah. If they do, that changes everything. If they actually push the lane and push a Rax, they can use that advantage to, you know, use some strategy and pushing up another lane, doing some, you know, split pushing or counter pushing or what have you. But until that point, tdM is still massively out farming in gold and experience.
Now, they are going to group up and try to make something happen at the top, but again, you see exactly what tdM's doing. In fact, a double damage run on Silhouette. They are going to start working towards the middle base themselves. There is a secondary tower up, so we'll have to get through that at least first. How will QsQ respond to this, or how will tdM respond for that matter? Will they be the ones to port back, or will they just look to go into the base? It looks like it is going to be the latter. They're going to go into the base right here. Again, that double damage is still up on a Silhouette for another 13 seconds. Did you see the top lane? Finally going to start breaking into the base here is QsQ. Both teams going for some pushing right here. Again, if this exchanges, I mean, QsQ may actually just be happy with taking this, but the melee Rax on the Legion side is dropping quickly. There finally goes the tower, and now the melee Rax on the Hellborn side also dropping quickly. Wow, we have a base race. We have an old-fashioned base race coming at you right here. tdM versus QsQ. Both teams not porting back. Both teams really just want to keep this push up. I don't know about this. tdM, you might want to think about getting back, honestly. Okay, here we go. Mass TPs all of a sudden. They lose 2 Racks, though. The Tempest ultimate coming out immediately. Here comes a Bat Blast on top of the Sun Screaming just like that. QsQ is cleaned up. Zai with a hat trick. We're probably going to see a genocide right here. Torture's picked off. Yes, we are. But look at the big picture. I mean, they did get 2 Racks down in both 2 melee Racks. And actually, Silhouette, is that the real Silhouette?
Yeah.
It is. She gets rooted. She's going to die right here. The token alive is going to bring her back up, but they will probably be able to burst her down. Chain reactions. Oh, not a little bit too early, but he couldn't get the blink off. Silhouette will fall. He does have, by all means, enough money for a buyback, but if I'm not mistaken, that's a second and final buyback. Yes, it will be. What was tdM thinking?
I don't know. That was just a poor decision in general. I'm sorry by my nuts if he was making that call. And even despite them getting that huge turn and that huge ultimate, and dishing out a lot of damage and honestly, you know, destroying them and killing them. Oh, Haystream picked up right there. There's the kill field actually onto Raleigh. I don't know if they're going to have enough damage here. Even if you get a good stun there from Torture, is it going to be enough? No, you can actually walk with haste through. It's going to be so freaking close. Oh, no!
He'll barely survive. Now, don't pursue too much here if you're the Legion side.
Oh, so close.
Yeah. Jeez. Power throw, power throw, power throw! Oh, it hit, but he barely lives. The Astrolabe or something healed him up just before, I believe. They don't have an astrolabe, but something that seemed like killed him up. Anyways, he barely lives. Okay, but you're just saying. I mean, what was tdM thinking? Actually, they're gonna get a big catch right here on a Torturer, who's all by himself. What is Nox doing? Can he get the tablet off? Yes, he can. He's trying to get away. Keeper the Force does have a root coming up, I believe, very shortly here in 20 seconds. Actually, it's not close enough. Glacius falls. Torturer is still alive. Actually, unbelievable. They're trying to return right here. Torturer will finally fall. Just such a chaotic fight going on. Parasite picked off in the background. And now the Legion team and Q Squad, they are on the run. We have Bubbles and Keeper at the bottom lane as, okay, yeah, Aluna does port back to base. But look at the top lane. The creeps are wrecking the base here.
Well, here's the thing is, okay, it's the same idea I say about all the time, like, you do not trade if you're up. If you're up, you simply do not trade. You fight them. You go fight them, you port back, you stop their push or whatever, and you go fight them. Because if you're down, you don't want to fight. Like, you want to trade. That's what you want. So that trade, they were down by, like, at the time, 18,000 experience, I don't know, 8,000 gold or something like that. And being able to trade racks, not to mention getting a melee racks when they didn't, tdM that is, that's really huge for QsQ. And even though they're down by a ton, like they're down by so much, especially in experience, that's still not bad because if they're able to force the issue up, like say bottom lane, and just force a push somehow, they could still stay in this game. So that was just a very bad decision by tdM as a whole by taking that counter push.
I mean, right here's a perfect example. They were all 5 grouped up, ready to push the middle lane with Parasite dead and whatnot. Keeper of the Forest put some pressure on the bottom lane, though. You see the top lane. The creeps alone are doing work, and they had to port back. tdM really had no choice right there. Their base was starting to fall apart, so it is going to have an impact. The fact that they're 2 melee racks up to the 1 in favor of Q Squad, no doubt, is huge. I mean, you just talked about that before all that happened.
I mean, is it really going to matter in the long run? Maybe, probably not, because you did use a lot of buyouts recently. Man, look at Nox, no buyouts. Buyouts on Jonas and Fan, 1 buyout on Style, 1 buyout on Male. So that's a lot of gold used in simply just buyouts. So in the long run, tdM is probably still in. I mean, obviously they're in a fantastic spot, but you still in the future. I just would never give that trade. Like I would always TP back and just fight them. Yeah, it's annoying, constantly running back there and trying to defend pushes all the time when a team like QsQ with this makeup is trying to force the issue so much. But you have to do it.
Well, you got Q Squad. The lanes are pushing up in their favor right now. I mean, obviously the top lane, that makes sense. The middle lane is the fact that they have at least the melee racks down, going up against both the melee and the range down in favor of the Hellborn side here in the middle is, at least makes the lane pretty even in that sense. So, yeah, Trademark Esports, they are just kind of sitting back once again. I'm guessing Kongor obviously going to play a huge role here now in this game. Keeper of the Forest, okay, those are just illusions. Keeper of the Forest does have a demonic breastplate finish, by the way. So he's become a little bit more of a damage threat himself, as well as just providing, of course, those good auras and whatnot for the team. Anything else really worth mentioning here? Savage Mace finished on Silhouette, obviously big. Restoration Stone is nearly complete on Tempest, and actually he might have enough here. He's going back to base. No, I think it's 1875 for the pattern, so yeah, he should have enough right here. Yep, there we go. Okay, so Restoration Stone also on Tempest. So they do got a double Tempest ultimate now. That obviously is big.
Yeah.
As well as a double Shrunken Head for that matter, but obviously you got a Root and Parasite. Anyways, they started pushing the bottom a little bit right there, but quickly realizing they weren't going to necessarily be able to go into the base. If you're Q Squad, I guess just wait for tdM to start pushing up themselves and then make a counter. That's really what you're playing for now.
Yeah, well, I mean, you have Zai continuously pushing out this top lane as well, in addition to farming out the neutral camps. And he actually did not choose to level up or go into the Hellflower just yet. Wants to be more defensive because he's realizing the Hellflower plus the Sheepstick from Torture and Male playing that Parasite are just too much for him, and that's the only thing that keeps him down. So he goes for the Null Stones, and I like it.
Yeah, that is interesting. Going a very defensive route, but makes sense with the matchup that is at hand. The bottom lane is being pushed out a little bit here by Trademark Esports. Parasite and Keeper are nearby, though, and so is Torture for that matter. And actually, Tempest is still going. He is by himself. Uh-oh, Tempest is in trouble. If he doesn't get out, here we go. The Sheep's going to come out. There's the Hellflower. What was my nuts thinking?
I don't know.
He easily is going to be picked off. He does not have buyback.
He was in no man's land.
I don't know. Yeah.
He was completely disconnected from the rest of his team. They don't even have vision here. Like, they have no vision at all. The only bit of vision that they have is their own jungle. Actually, oh wow, so much damage coming out from Noob G as he gets a very easy pick off on the Nova. But Tempest has no buyouts, and yeah, you don't have your Aluna, but I don't think it matters. You have to take this risk. You have to go now. I feel like this is your opportunity.
Yep.
If it QsQ.
This is it. So it's going to basically be a 4 versus 4 here between the two teams. Rally, of course, sitting in the front lines. He's ready. Now, remember, the top lane is being very heavily pushed by the creep wave of Q Squad, so they can use a little bit of time here, but at the same time, Tempest is up in about 30 seconds now, so you always got to keep that in mind. He can be. In fact, there's a Sheepstick on a Rally. We're going to see that initiation. No roof for Give the Force, remember. Silhouette jumps in, actually. Torture doing plenty of damage. Rally is falling, but Torture will just melt away with a Bat Blast coming out. Keeper of the Force, he's trying to tank it. It ain't going to be enough, though, and Bubbles will also portal out of there. We do have a double tap coming out for Noob G. 3 players are dead. Bubbles is going to be fine. It looks like a couple of portal keys being used. So he'll live, and Tempest is going to be coming back up. So unfortunately for Q Squad, they really aren't able to make the most of getting the pick onto Tempest.
Yeah, Savage Mace on Silhouette just doing too much damage. And you have the negative armor being applied as well from Rally. And even though he was CC'd, he's pretty damn tanky. I mean, look at that. He's got Barrier, Demonic, and Helmet Black Legion. 24 HP with lots of armor and magic armor. And Kongor is going to be attempted right now by tdM. And again, part of the reason, too, is that they did use some cooldowns, namely the ultimate from Keep of the Forest, to kill that Tempest. So it did make it a little bit more difficult trying. But they have to take every kind of opening they can, especially with a big pick-off on Tempest like that.
Well, Kongor is easily going to fall. Bananas? No, not Bananas this time. Token of Life, of course, on Silhouette. So now you have to deal with one of those again, unless you manage to get a crazy pick-off on her like you did last time when she was pushing in by herself. Then it's going to be very difficult now once again for Q Squad. So it continues to be, I mean, it's been this way for a while now. Trademark Esports just has a pretty big advantage here. But it all goes back to that choice of base race by tdM, and that alone is really a big reason why Q Squad's even still in this game, you can argue. So Post Haste just picked up, though, by Silhouette. Obviously, very, very powerful tool to have at this point in the game.
Yeah.
So going to be able to take advantage of that now. Demonic Breastplate finished on Rally, actually, so I think he's had that for a little bit. And then back to the Legion side. Nothing else really. Torture's been sitting on the same items for a while now.
Yep.
I mean, he did use those 2 buybacks, so.
Yeah, he's died a lot since then. I mean, he actually has the most deaths on his team. And the 2 buyouts and just hasn't really been farming other than just pushing out the waves for the rest of his team. So, yeah, hasn't really been able to make a new item.
You know what I didn't think about is I wonder if the Hellborn team... No, you never mind. They did have TPs. I was going to say, I wonder if they had TPs that whole time, but of course they did. They all used them at the finally, so... Never mind. Yeah, top lane, though, is being pushed in, or helps to even be pushed in by the heroes that are here. Of course, with the creep wave that they're bringing. This is going to get tdM to definitely fall back and have to defend it. Q Squad, if anything, they're just trying to pick off somebody who tries to defend it. Now, there is a ward of sight here that is about to wear out about 20 seconds from now by Fitzke, but it's still giving them some good vision, that being tdM, in terms of not getting cut out here. But Bubbles nearby. Oh, Rally's going to jump into Bubbles. Actually, here comes Glacius. Bubbles dropping quickly. Seismic Slam going to be used. Nature's Veil coming out, though. Bubbles will fall. Just could not get away right there, and the pursuit will continue. Aluna's actually going to start being picked off now, so everyone is just on the run here for the Legion team. And I think the rest may be fine. Keeper of the Forest, yes, he's going to Homecoming Stone out, so obviously it works out once again for tdM. And actually, Silhouette catching Torturer here. He's going to put the Sheepstick on his Silhouette, but still, he is in a lot of trouble. He's just going to go for the quick TP. No, the Savage Mace just doing too much damage, putting the stuns out. And he will also fall, so I think it could be coming to a finish here. I don't know if Q Squad is going to be able to hold a push here.
They need to see this this right now, because look at Noob G's score.
What are we looking at? Noob G is 13, 3, and 7. How about that? They go right for the bottom racks that are exposed, of course. So Keeper the Force and Parasite are up, but again, it's just what more they can. I mean, Keeper's trying to push the bottom lane. You got a Ballista taken over by Parasite. He's just pushing the buildings a little bit. But obviously TDM, they're going to clear out the bottom, then they'll just port back to base. Again, they don't need to really push for the World Trio by any means. So Q Squad is still hanging in there.
Yep.
They are still going to hang in there. 43,000 experience deficit. 24,000 gold deficit.
Pretty insane. And QsQ, they're still playing it out, but honestly, like you say all the time, like This is only game 1, and they should really feel that there's a pretty hefty lead coming out from tdM, and maybe it's just simply the fact that you have the racks down and top, and one in mid is giving the illusion that you still have this game, but I really don't think that you do. There's no way at all that you're winning a team fight. No way.
You kind of have to hope at this point that for some reason tdM gets in the mindset of we just want to base race you again, and all of a sudden QsQ just outpushes you with their lineup. So
yeah,
but,
I guess maybe their thinking is Silhouette has no buyouts, kill Silhouette, go win game, but she has a token of life up right now, and she is very, very difficult to kill.
Yeah, about 3 minutes remaining on the token of life. Speaking of that, so they do have that out. You are right, with the no buybacks on her. So I guess it is understandable for QsQ, and Keeper the Force continuing to come back here to the bottom lane, just pushing it out, and out. He has another 2,500 gold saved up, by the way, and he too is out of buyback. So we'll see what he eventually. I think definitely something like a barrier idol still could be useful for them. Let's invest into that, perhaps. Going to be joined by Torture and Aluna down here. Kongor, so obviously not up because Token of Life still on Silhouette, though. Now about 2 minutes remaining. So will Trademark Esports, you think, actually try to push with this Token of Life here? Oh, well, that, especially if they're going to pick here on a Keeper of the Forest. We're going to see an ultimate. Parasite thought about dropping it. Oh, he went backwards. But Parasite is not going to choose to even attempt to save him. He's just going to keep running. So again, QsQ in a case of they are in complete run mode. Down goes Parasite. Torture and Bubble is also in trouble. The portal keys just keep happening. Torture is also going to explode right there. All right, I think it officially might be coming to an end here. There we go. GG well plays are being called, and it just was too much. Trademark Esports will pull through. Man, that game, it went a lot longer than it definitely could have. But in the end, Trademark Esports, the same victor is still at hand. So
yeah,
goes back to that base race decision, man.
Well,
might have been the best, but still works out.
That didn't really matter because tdM still won, and they had just so much farm, specifically experience. I mean, look at the levels: 22, 25, 23, 25. You have 21, 19, 19, 18, and
yeah,
that gap of even the 6 levels between some of the players and members of tdM between QsQ. That's like comparing, say, like a level 13 to like a level 1 someone else. Like that experience is so huge. And what we have, like 50,000 in difference at the very end there. So well played by tdM.
Yeah.
I do question just a little bit overall. Like, I still think that the rally is just kind of ineffective. Like, just kind of bleh in these team fights. Like, he's a tanky mess that has a free push book. Why not why not have a hero that buys just a friggin' push book if that's why you want to have a hero? Like, his ultimate just seems so meh. And you have to combo it up with like another stun, and even then it's just so awkward to place. And it only, it's an AoE, but when are you really going to ever get more than one hero? Maybe if you're lucky with the Tempest ultimate, but we never saw that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, they still won, but I just feel like the rally pickup, he's fun and he's helpful with the compel ability. But anyway, I'm just criticizing. I don't know why, because they still won the game. Anyway.
Point to bring up. But yeah, tdM is still victorious. That's ultimately what matters, as we always say. Getting the win, getting the W there. So they're up 1-0. Best of the 3, though. So sit tight, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to take a quick break, as always. But we'll be coming back. QsQ versus tdM here for the winners bracket semifinals. Game 2 coming up next.